Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Strategic Business Leader course of ACCA, one of the most interesting and practical course of ACCA qualification, and also one of the easiest one if you're studying from both of us. In our today's class, we'll be having an introductory discussion about this course, and we'll be looking at how this course is different from other ACCA courses which you have studied in your skills and knowledge module. We'll be looking at the course outline, paper structure, and some brief discussion about both of us. So before going in depth of this course, let me introduce us. I'm Owais Mirchawala, Faculty and Director at Mirchawala Hub of Accountancy. And with me, I have expert of business leader courses, Sir Subhan Mirchawala. A combined experience of more than 25 years is sitting in front of you with more than 75 nationwide positions secured by our students in the courses which we offer. So this SBL course is a different type of exam and a very interesting one. You guys must be thinking that why two teachers are sitting in front of us? Because this is the need of this exam. It's not like other exams in which you need just academic knowledge. This course requires a lot of practical business insight. So both of us will be giving you that practical business insight which is required for this exam. Because when you talk about this exam, it is the only exam of ACCA in which the examiner gives you 11 pages of advanced information 2 weeks before the examination. Yes, the examiner himself makes the paper out 14 days before the exam, and he gives you a complete opportunity to do whatever research you want. So obviously, when the examiner is giving you that pre-seen information or advanced information 2 weeks before the examination, so it's not that dry, theoretical, rote learning type exam. It's a real business case study. So the real business case study which comes in your examination, it's like total 15 pages. 11 pages of that case study are given to you guys 2 weeks before the examination. And the examiner gives you an open challenge. Do as much research as you want. Look at as much practical examples as you want. Predict what he can ask you in the actual examination. And then he just gives you additional 4 pages in the examination. So we too, this top combo, we'll be bringing that real business insight, that real business examples, combined teaching experience of more than 25 years, practical business examples of Sir Subhan. He has been living in USA for more than a decade. So he see all of those businesses going on there. My practical business insight of Middle Eastern market, of Asian region, that gives you that real insight that how you have to deal with this examination. So it's a different kind of paper, required different kind of teaching skill, but believe me, very interesting, very practical, and very, very easy to pass if you are studying with this combo.
Normally you call your examination a paper, for example, your tax paper, your audit paper, and all that. But this SBL is a totally different kind of animal, unlike all other ACCA examination. And I normally call it not a paper, but a project. I call it like a project. It's not a paper. See, it's so professional that you are getting a case study 15 days before the examination. And you are not a student in the examination. You are like a consultant. You're like an expert, an analyst. And yes, in the examination, it clearly says you are an external analyst sometime. You are a senior consultant. You are what? So for example, you have an office, you're a consultant, and a client calls you. Say, okay, I'm from telecommunication industry, maybe airline industry, maybe hotel industry, food industry, whatever. What do? You ask your client, okay, I'll give you an appointment later on, but first I need some information from you, like maybe who are you? What's the name of your organization? What's the age of your organization? Is it a listed company? Is it a private company? Is it a joint venture? Or how many board of directors? What's your market? How many segments you're dealing in? What is this? This is all pre-seen, which you get 15 days before the examination. Are you getting my point? So you are a consultant, you have a client, the client is giving you all this information, and then you go through that information, and then you actually meet up that client, and that meeting is actual examination. So you get that pre-seen thing, you go through it, and then the extension of that pre-seen you get in the examination. And see, this examination is not absolute, as Sir said. It's not objective, it's a subjective paper. What's the difference between objective and subjectivity? Objectivity, fixed rules, fixed facts. For example, the earth revolves around the sun. That's absolute physics, that's absolute fact, that's absolute law. For example, in taxation, in accounting, you have absolute facts. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. That is it. We don't need your opinion. These are certain rules and laws which you have to follow and write in the examination. That's called objectivity. What is subjectivity? Subjectivity means different people have different opinions. One question and 100 possible answers and 100 possible right answers actually. Everybody will get the exact same marks, 110% marks. How? Because for every answer, you'll have to give your logic, your explanation. For example, in a growth strategy, in a market, for example, the company is going down, some kind of going concern issue going on. You are talking about now marketing strategy, or you will get good marks. The other guy may be talking about some kind of collaboration strategy. Maybe Sir Owais talks about pricing strategy. Whatever your answer is, you'll have to provide a clear logic, and then you will get the mark. So see, this examination is it's so professional. That's why, normally we always get the case study, we always get a surprise in the examination, any examination. But for this examination, making it more professional and treating you and giving you a respect as a consultant, you are getting a pre-scene 15 days before the examination, sir.
So, and when you will be studying from us, the real life business examples you'll be getting, because see, examiner is not developing a case on his own. He's just picking up a real life case and changing the names in it. Like there was a case study on business airline, on a budget airline, a budget aircraft case study. There was a case study on hoteling industry. There was a case study on meal kit, the meal kits which are sent to the people and then people do that cooking thing on their own. There was a case on PAT, VAT clinics. And those real life case studies we see practically. And you can only understand them when you are studying from the people who have that real business insight. So SBL exam is not about how much you know. It is about how much you apply. Okay, there is a consultant who knows a lot of books, but he cannot relate it to the client situation. So that consultant is useless. So in this SBL exam, we'll be doing that argument, that application, and that is what is expected in the examination. And this is the reason why we keep this combo of teachers. We'll do the argument. We'll present different point of views. And the examiner sees that the marks are for the skepticism skill, for the evaluation, looking at both of the sides of whatever opinion you are doing, not just talking on one side. Like just go to a consultant and he's talking on one side only. So you'll feel that, okay, that consultant is biased. He is not clear, like he's not evaluating it, like he's not talking on pros and cons in both of the aspects. So this is what this exam is, a very interesting exam. And one important thing before I deep dive into it. So is this exam difficult? No. And it's clear from the facts also. It has highest pass rate. I'm repeating again. It has highest pass rate in all professional level exams of ACCA. Its pass rate normally ranges around 55%. 55% pass rate normal. Whereas if you look at other professional level exams of ACCA, the pass rate is normally around 35%, 40%. Since it's an open-ended paper, every answer is correct. It's all about learning the reasoning, the argument, and you just ace it. So you have to get yourself involved in the case. Not a lot of bookish knowledge, not a lot of theory. Understand the case, look at the practical examples, and this is what we'll be doing throughout the course. Through the practical examples, we'll be upgrading, opening up your thought process, giving you that ability to analyze the case. Listen to the client and then analyze, give the examples, look at different strategies. Okay, so now let's look at some material also. You don't have to copy anything if I just give you a brief of our teaching approach. Like in every class, we'll be looking at these slides, entire content. I'll be uploading all of the content on our learning management system. You just need to listen us. You can take out the printout of these documents. They are available. And now you just need to listen and look at the practical examples which we are giving. Okay, so as I said earlier also that this course is different from all other ACCA exams. You haven't got a pre-seen information. and advanced information in any exam. Like none of the exam is an open challenge like this. That okay, you have the case study 2 weeks before the exam. It's the same case which will be coming in the exam. You have the 11 pages. You will get additional 4 pages in the actual exam. Do as much prediction you want, do as much practice you want. And we, the expert gurus, we will be doing that predictive mock exams on those pre-seen information also. And normally, since our experience, it's like 25 years sitting in front of you. So our expected marks normally come in the examination, and this is the reason why it's apparent in the success, the nationwide positions we have produced. And I always say it's a proud thing for us. Like go and find in the market, bring a tutor who has like more than 75 nationwide positions. Like normally complete institutions with a lot of teacher don't have that much positions. This is the value we create for our students, and obviously that's the impact we have created. So, as Sir said, this exam in itself is a project. It's not like that dry theory based exam. It's a real project. You are a consultant, client is sitting in front of you. He has already sent you that pre seen information. You know about the background of the industry, background of the client. Now, today is the issue. Let's talk on that. It's a real project of 3 hours and 15 minutes in which you have to deal with the actual problems of the client. See why the examiner gave you the pre-C. Because he don't want to waste your time on the background information. He just want you to focus on the current year problem, like maybe some franchising proposal, maybe some collaboration proposal, maybe launch of some mobile application, maybe some cyber security issue, maybe some governance issue, maybe some fraud happening. You are a business consultant listening to a client who has brought up his real business problem. So, this paper is not about how much you know, rather, it is about how you apply what you know to solve the problems. Do you have the ability to solve the problem of the client? And it is the like, okay, you know that in all of the ACC exams, in the sample answer, examiner writes in the marking scheme that he accepts other possible points also. And that is assumed. But SBL is the only paper, if you read its examiner answer, the examiner write a 2 paragraph note, not one line, that other points are also acceptable. Examiner writes a 2 paragraph note that no answer can be an ideal answer for this case. There can be a completely different answer which can prove its logic and get equal marks. This is the beauty of this exam because it's a practical paper. Two people can have different views and both of their businesses can be successful. Because at the same time, Apple is also successful and China Mobile is also successful. Apple following that differentiation strategy and China Mobile following that cost leader strategy, both are operating in the market. None of them has flopped because this is the beauty of the business world that two different strategies can also be successful in the market. So that is the idea, and these are the real case studies which you'll be looking. Like at the same time, budget airlines are also successful, and normal airlines are also successful. At the same time, business class is also full, and economy class is also full. So this means that there are different types of customers who have different types of needs, and therefore different types of business strategies can be successful. Okay.
See, the strategy which is successful in United States market, maybe regarding the return policy or consumer market and all that, a successful strategy. And it will be a total flop strategy in other markets, maybe Asian market or something like that. Okay. So in examination also, it talks about the different areas also. This organization started this business, XYZ country, XYZ continent, maybe Europe or somewhere. And now in the examination, okay, now we are planning for a growth, going to a different continent, all that. Maybe their child labor practices are normal or something. So see, one strategy which is successful in one market, it's a total flop in other nation.
So it is the only exam in which the examiner states in his answer that there is no single perfect answer. All answers are valid with proper reasoning and justification. A real business case, student will actually feel motivated while dealing with it. See, it's so real that while teaching this exam, I also start to feel motivated that, okay, let's do this business, let's do this business. I remember last time when I was teaching the course, I got so motivated that I registered two companies here in Dubai. I don't know, like while teaching you guys this English course, how many new businesses will start, and it will give you such a good insight that, okay, such great business opportunities and strategies exist. Because sometimes we see them, but we are not talking on them, we are not analyzing them, or maybe sometimes we don't have that observation. But when you'll be studying from us, that real business discussion, that will enable your thought process. That's required practically also and in the examination also. Like, okay, you are a consultant, you should have the ability to identify something which the owner himself was not able to do it. Something new, some new argument. Okay, you can do this, you can look in this way, you can explore this in this way. Like I remember we were talking about hotel industry. So a normal thing, which is normal in Western market, like the room cards included in the Google Wallet and the Apple wallets. Now that thing is not seen by a lot of people who live in the South Asian market, like in Pakistan, India, Nepal. We don't see these Apple wallets and Google wallets having these room check-in cards. Or to start your car, we use the Apple wallet. Or my car key is in my Apple wallet. So if someone has not seen that technology, obviously he cannot include it in his argument in the examination. And believe me, there was a case study in which we had to give this idea that in order to check into the room, we should include the room keys inside the Apple wallet. So if someone hasn't used Apple wallet, like in Pakistan, there is no Apple wallet. So how come a student can know about that strategy? Or if I talk about meal kit businesses, it came one time in the examination. Now, meal kit concept is very rare in Pakistan, but in Western market, like in US, in Europe, it's very much normal that you order a meal kit and a fresh set of ingredients along with recipe come to your home and you have to cook it on your own. Like not the frozen food, a fresh set of food, fresh set of ingredients like fresh meat and everything, which has a short expiry. So all of these things, because a lot of time when you go to the examination, you have a case study which you haven't seen in your practical life. Like if I talk about VAT clinics, VAT clinics like clinics for the animals and their play area. We see a lot of them in the Western market, but in a lot of South Asian countries, we don't see them. So there can be a case study which you haven't seen practically, but when you will be studying with us, you will be looking at those real business case studies and we'll be connecting with it. That, okay, this is happening practically nowadays. Okay. Highest pass rate in strategic professional level exam. Easy exam, believe me, very easy exam because a student who has studied nothing also has an opportunity to perform in the examination. It's like, for example, I teach advanced taxation also. If someone has not taken advanced taxation classes or he hasn't studied anything and he goes into the examination, he can't do anything. Because you can't understand the question. You cannot understand that what is employment income, trading income, calculation of benefit or anything. You can't understand anything. But if it's SBL exam and you haven't studied anything like zero, you are going to the examination for the first time. You can also perform in the exam because it's a real business case and you have to develop your arguments there and there. So what we will be doing is that we will enhance your thought process. We will give you that concept that, okay, how you have to think like a strategic business leader, how you have to analyze the business problems. So it's all about teaching.
See, the paper is of 100 marks. Normally, other ACCA papers also. But you get what? Four questions, 25 each, or maybe five questions, 20 each. Why it's easy? Because for 100 marks, there's only one question. See, look at my viewpoint, look at my perception. It's just one case study, one organization, one industry, one organization structure, one kind of competition, one product. So everything is just one. So you'll have to study just once and the whole 100 marks are done. Instead of 20, 20, 20, one hotel case, one maybe restaurant, one airline, one textile, one education, one non-profit. It looks like, okay, it's a short case study of 20 marks, but see, five organization structure, five industrial, it's just one question, just one case study. That's it.
Okay. So the normally pass rate that exceeds 50%, and this is the reason why this pass rate is of ACCA. Our pass rate exceeds 75%. Like people only take our crash and they pass it. You are part of our regular course. So you are being prepared for a nationwide position. So you just need to connect with us during the journey. And believe me, it will create a great impact. Basically, when you talk about this exam, like I would say, a very famous example. If you give someone a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him forever. This SBL exam is like that. We don't have to give you that fish because in the examination, it will be something new. Maybe a fish, maybe a vegetable, maybe a fruit or something else. We have to teach you how you have to catch that thing, how you have to do that thing, because whatever business case you do, you should have an ability of a consultant and an ability to analyze, ability to deep dive into the client situation rather than forcing up your learned knowledge. Student has to think like a strategic leader, that director thing, looking at the bigger picture, discuss actual problems of an entity and give suggestion. One case study, 100 marks, so related to real life situation. We had cases about Airbnb, Kareem, Uber, that industry, public sector organization. He just changes the name and you can just relate it that, okay, he's talking about this entity. I can feel it. But you can feel it if you have explored that industry in the past. But since we are bringing that business expertise, so maybe you cannot feel it on your own, but we'll be helping you to understand that case in a much better manner. You need real insight of the practical world to understand these business, not just an academic teacher to teach the book. So now here is our combo. Myself, as I told Owais Mirchawala and Sir Subhan, diverse business knowledge, business exposure of US market, because you know that the examiner is normally of the Western market, Europe, US, that side. He's not a Pakistani or an Indian or from Nepal or from GCC. He's from that Western side. So normally the cases which he's picking is from that side only. And you can feel that, okay, it relates to that company. So if you live in that region, if you explore those businesses, you can obviously feel them. But if you don't live there, you need teachers like us who make you feel that, who make you understand that, who make you explore that business segment. Okay. Advanced information about the organization and its business background is provided 15 days before the actual exam. We already discussed it. In the examination, 3 tasks will be given to the students based on 3 to 4 new exhibits about the recent updates or the problems the organization is facing. As we discussed already, you get 11 pages in advance about the background, 3 to 4 new pages in the actual examination. Like 11 pages already provided, 4 new pages in the exam, talking about the current year problem that, okay, we are facing this ethical issue. Our financial performance is declining. Or maybe we have this expansion proposal, like some franchising, some acquisition, some disposal, or maybe some launch of any application, or maybe data analytics, maybe some audit issue, an open-ended paper. Just think like a business owner who can have a lot of business problems, which you have to understand during the course by having that all of the discussion. 3 hours and 15 minutes to deal with those tasks. Now, when you talk about this examination, the examiner has made it very clear that I am not interested in any form of bookish knowledge. No rote learning, no copy pasting the data. Like maybe in some time, this paper will become open book also. Like examiner will allow you that, okay, you have the access of the book also. Because the point is, the examiner is not interested in theoretical dry concept. He is interested in that case study. Currently, it's not open book. Maybe in some time it happens. Currently, you have that pre-scene, you have the actual business problem, and you say that, okay, talk on this only. And you are talking to the board of directors. So don't talk like, okay, this writer says this, or this book says this. We are not interested in that. Talk that, okay, this is the problem, and this should be the strategy. Like, okay, just think you are a board of director. One consultant comes in and say, okay, there is some writer called as Potter. Michael Potter presented 5 forces of competition, and this applies to you, and this is this, and this is that. Being a director, you'll say, okay, wait a minute, I'm not in a classroom. Don't teach me. Talk about my problem. Talk about my competitor. I'm not interested in what Michael Porter is saying. I'm not interested in like what Pastel is saying. Talk about my case and solve my business problem. If you want to apply any writer, it's your choice. But I'm not getting impressed by name of any writer. Okay?
See,
I will
see
get
the
impressed due to the strategy which you propose. Sir.
see the action words are different here. You won't find anything define, explain, what, describe. No, it's now analyze. It's evaluate. It's write a report to the board of director evaluating this thing, write a briefing paper, write a press release, write an email to the CEO. Now you see the action words are different. And yes, SWOT analysis, pestle analysis, Potter five forces, all these are important. For what? To get the concept, which we will deliver you. Get the concept, apply. Get the concept, apply. That's it. Okay. He's not asking you define culture and analyze the culture. No, there's no definition of culture in the examination. So these action words are now eliminated. Okay.
So, how to approach this exam? No theoretical knowledge or learning is required. So, whatever models, concepts we will be studying, the core objective of that will be to upgrade your thought process, to enable. Okay, we will teach you Potter 5 forces, but the objective is to give you an ability to analyze the competition in the market. We will teach you Pastel to give you an ability to analyze the environment. But when you will be doing the past paper, the examiner is not interested to know what Potter is saying or what Pastel is saying. He says, okay, whatever you know, I'm happy with it. Now apply on the business problem. So those concepts, those writers give you a structure of writing. That, okay, Pastel, you get headings. Talk on politics, talk on economy, talk on social, talk on technology, ecology, legal. It gives you 6 headings. But if you skip any of the heading from those 6, the examiner won't deduct your marks because he was interested in what type of analysis you were doing and whether that was logical and dealing with the client situation or not. So student has to develop answer according to the exam scenario and the pre-seen data. All business models and concept study will only help in structuring the points and improving the thought process. The examiner is not interested that, okay, you have to give 4 headings of Potter 5 forces always, or give 5 headings of Potter diamond always, or give 6 headings of pastel always, or 4 headings of sword always. He's not interested in that. He say, okay, you want to use a model, you don't want to use it. It's your choice. Answer the client situation. So if someone has a model in his mind or a writer in his mind, his thought process will be more improved, will be more structured. And when you will be listening to our practical business examples, it will help you gain that ability to analyze the business situations. No rote learning, completely conceptual, case study related to real life, practical examples and analysis is the key to pass. Now, till this point, some students start to feel that, sir, this exam is difficult. Believe me, this exam is not difficult. Why? Because if someone is going to the exam without any preparation, he also has an opportunity to perform. Understand the business case, answer it. If he has that real business acumen, business sense, if he can think like a leader, he can deal with it. So this is what we will be doing in this course. Enhancing your thought process, enabling you to think like a strategic business leader. That, okay, there will be problems, there will be situations, there will be opportunities, but there are always arguments, there are always logics. And being an aware business person, you have to look at both of the sides of your decision. And rather than taking decision based on emotional biasness. One of the best pass rate in strategic level examination. Pass rate normally exceeds 50%. We have seen situations when global positions have come at 95 marks. Like examiner is so impressed by the answer of the student that 95% of his comments were given full marks. Like even in a lot of skills level exams, we don't see that much marks. Students with lowest preparation pass this exam the most. Why? Because they don't restrict their thought process. They are open to the scenario. They talk about the scenario and they ace the exam. See, that's so important. Like just think about a person who hasn't studied anything and you give him the exam paper. What he'll do? He'll just focus on that because he knows nothing. His chances to pass the exam will be much greater because he's focusing on that case, using his knowledge, his practical approach to answer that. One student, he has read 4 books, learned them by heart. His thought process gets restricted. He's restricted in that box, not able to analyze the case. While we will be teaching, our entire focus won't be on will be on those practical business cases. Will be on your enhancing ability to think rather than teaching that dry theory. And this is the reason why, see, how do we teach? There are 8 sections in this course. We'll pick up first section and we'll teach it in like 5 to 6 classes. And then once done with that section, we'll go to the exam paper. We'll go to the exam paper. 100 marks complete exam paper. Because exam paper don't require a lot of theoretical knowledge. It requires a business acumen, a business sense, a practical approach. We'll go and do 2 past papers to enhance your business concept. To teach you that, okay, this exam is not about a book. It is about real business sense. It is about real business examples. One topic, 2 past paper. One topic, 2 past paper. And this is how we'll go on. So a lot of business examples, a lot of approach to enhance your thought process. Like if this course is of like 120 hours, the course lectures are only like 40, 50 hours. Rest 60 to 70 hours is past papers. And even in the course lectures, we'll be talking about business problems because that is what the examination requires. Okay. Students with a lot of book reading and learning restrict their thought process, which we don't want. And this is the reason why it's all about examples and discussion. So SBL, very different type of exam and very easy, very interesting. Like every class you will enjoy because you will be looking at the real business. Okay, BlackBerry, Nokia, Tesla, Virgin, or maybe discussion about Kodak, or maybe discussion about BYD or Tesla or Amazon. A lot of business examples which we look around and you will understand that, okay, this is how the things are going on because the exam case will be from one of those. Something picked up from those business situations. Okay. Now, when we talk about this examination, its marks breakup is also very interesting. Now, this breakup is in all professional level exam. That examiner gives you 80% marks based on your technical knowledge. And he gives you 20% marks based on your professional skill. Like, what do you mean by this? Just think about a business consultant, very strong technically, very strong. Like his advices are very good, very great advices, but he lacks in communication. Like he don't know how to prepare a report. He don't know how to present the data. He mixes up everything. So what I would say is that his technical knowledge is multiplied by 0 because he don't know how to communicate it. Like just think about a guy who is great technically, like a student just done with his ACCA qualification, expert of accounting, but professionally he is a useless guy. He don't know how to dress, he don't know how to communicate, he don't know how to present himself. So when he'll be going to the interview, there is a high probability that he will fail. So your examiner is training you in that perspective. The examiner says that 80% of the marks are for technical knowledge and 20% of the marks are for professional skill. Now, what is professional skill? That while attempting these 80% marks, you have to demonstrate. Listen to me. You have to demonstrate that how professionally you present it. Now, what do you mean by this? Whether your communication is clear, your analysis, is in-depth analysis, financial analysis, non-financial analysis. Your ability to evaluate the situation, like positive and negative both, rather than getting biased on one side. Your ability of judgment, your ability of challenging the things rather than accepting them in their current position. Your business sense.
Let's say, let's say the same requirement, write a report, XYZ issue and all that. You know everything. But this time he's saying write a report to the board of directors. Same requirement. And this time he's saying same requirement, everything same. Write a letter or write a report to the shareholders. Now see, technical marks are same. But when you are talking to a shareholder means a layman, a common person, maybe a student, maybe a medical person, maybe a housewife. So you won't be able to using the technical jargon. You'll have to use simple language in that. That's called 20 professional marks. But when you're talking to the board of directors, same arguments, but you have to use technical jargons. One more thing. Let's say you are a consultant. Let's say this time in examination, there's a case study that our share price went up. And we had this kind of minerals found out or something like that. It's kind of great news. How do you start your answer? With excitement. So with that particular line, see, I have a great news today. I'm so excited to announce to my share professional marks for that, not the technical marks. Technical marks are different. Those are for technical knowledge. But this time, let's say you're an airline, you're the CEO, and the airline faced a major accident, hundreds of lives lost, and all that. You have to write a press release. How will you start? I have a very excited news. You know what? The plane was zero professional mark because it's a sad news. So, how you start that sad news? How you talk about human life and all that. This we are talking about professional marks, okay? And then we will have, one detailed class on that in future about the professional marks. And then we'll be teaching you how to write a report, email, starting the question, ending, footer, headers, all that. So
And see, when we'll be doing a lot of past papers, we'll be dealing with that skill. Now, what I was talking about, the importance of these professional marks, just listen to me. See, you have 3 hours and 15 minutes in the exam. This totals to 195 minutes. This totals to 195 minutes in the examination. Now, normally, in these 195 minutes, a student attempt 100 marks. Like the requirements which you attempt, if you total them up, you attempt 100 marks requirement. So that brings up to 1.95 minutes per mark. Listen to me carefully. Normally, 3 hours and 15 minutes, 195 minutes in the examination, SBL exam is of 195 minutes. And all of the exams are of 100 marks. So normally it would be 1.95, almost 2 minutes for a mark. So if it's like a 10 marks requirement, listen to me. If it's a 10 marks requirement into 1.95 minute per mark, you have almost 19.5 minutes. Please understand, for a normal 10 marks requirement, you would have around 20 minutes to attempt it, 19.5 minutes, because for 1 mark, it was 1.95 minutes. But for the SBL exam, what the examiner is saying, listen to me. He's saying that just go in the examination and total the requirements which you have to attempt. Total the requirements. So what you will find is that in this 195 minutes, the examiner is only giving you requirements of 80 marks. Literally, when you will add up all the requirements, like analyze culture, analyze the business strategy, look at this ethical problem, look at this business proposal, when you will add up all the requirements, it will be only 80 marks. Sir, so will we be attempting exam of 80 marks? Yes, you will be attempting exam of 80 marks only. Same time, 195 minutes. So 195 minutes divided by 80 marks, it is 2.4 minutes per mark. 2.4 minutes per mark. So for the same 10 marks question, 2.4 minutes, you have 24 minutes. Now listen to me. Instead of 19 minutes, he is giving you 24 minutes. But what he is saying to you, that while attempting the same 10 marks requirement, show me a professional behavior. Use proper communication. Do proper analysis. Like, okay, if you have to write 10 arguments means 10 technical skill marks. You can write those 10 arguments all in positive perspective only. You can write all 10 arguments on positive perspective only. So 10 technical marks are done. But the professional skill of evaluation says that don't write all of the 10 from positive side only. Like write 6 or 7 from positive, 3, 4 from negative. Or 6, 7 negative, 3, 4 positive. Give a balance to you. Give an argumentative approach. Give the user an ability to look at both sides of the picture. Give your final judgment also. So what the examiner is saying that instead of attempting 100 marks and spending 19 minutes on a 10 marks requirement, spend 24 minutes. Take extra time. Take extra time. But please answer in a professional manner. So what does this mean? That every requirement which you, listen to me, every requirement which you will be attempting, you will get a 20% bonus on it. You will get a 20% bonus on it if you have attempted it in a professional manner. Okay, so the total of the requirements which will be attempted will be of 80 marks. If you have answered in a professional manner, what is professional manner? Your detailed analysis, your business sense. Like sometimes students are giving an advice, which is a right advice, but not suitable at that point of time. That shows that, okay, his commercial acumen is weak. Theoretically, it's right, but from the business sense, it's not justified. Your good communication, your evaluation to look at positive, negative side both, your ability to take a judgment, your ability to challenge the things. Like, okay, there are examples in the situation when you have been presented a report by someone and he is an expert. So rather than just saying that, okay, he is an expert, he must be right, that shows lack of skepticism. What is skepticism? That even if he is an expert, I will challenge him. I will talk on the data. Okay, like, okay, entire world is saying this, but the data shows something different. So I'll follow that. So exam will include 80 technical marks. This include discussion on the 3 tasks provided in the examination. Maybe a task on ethics, or maybe on culture, or maybe on leadership, or maybe on controls, anything technical. There will be additional 20 professional marks. These will be awarded on the basis that how professionally a student attempted those 80 technical marks. And that all we'll be teaching you when we'll be actually solving complete exam papers in the class. Professional skill marks to demonstrate while answering 80 technical marks include your analysis, commercial acumen, communication, evaluation, and skepticism. Obviously, detailed discussion will be done on these skills in our detailed course. Today is just an orientation and introduction. So the basic objective to teach you was that you will not only pass based on your technical knowledge, you also need professional communication. You also need an ability to develop good arguments, evaluate positive, negative, challenging the data, skepticism. Like, okay, even we are the experts, we are teaching you. So being a professional, you should have skepticism. Sir, why this is happening like this? Why it shouldn't be like this? Challenge the things. You have to answer examination like a business leader. Problem. Majority of the candidates are just students. You guys are students, or maybe some are juniors. You don't know how to talk like a business leader. Now, what do you mean by this? See, what happened at this level is that examiner will not say that your answer is wrong. Listen to me. Examiner will not say that your answer is wrong. He will say that your answer is not impressive. Right and wrong is absolute. Impressive. He want an impressive argument from a business consultant talking to the board. Okay? Impressive arguments, quality arguments, Maybe sometimes your arguments are correct, but they are very basic. So you have to learn that ability when you will be studying with us. And this is the reason why we give assignments and we check the answers. We give you feedback that, okay, this is correct, but very basic. This will not suit a business leader. Improve your reasoning. So a lot of students have never been to any organization. And even if they are in an organization, they are juniors. They are not business leaders. Here comes the most important thing. Practice of complete papers, checking of the answers, feedback. We will train you to think like a business leader. A course full of examples, a lot of analysis of real life problems so that you can think like a business leader. You look at the case studies that how successful businesses of one time are suffering nowadays, or some of them just closed. Like Kodak Films used to be a market leader in that camera industry. In 1990s, one of its scientists invented a digital camera, but they just rejected his idea, didn't pursue that concept because Kodak Film used to earn from selling those physical reels. If you remember, like 20 years back, when we used to go for a photograph was taken, it was printed on a reel, and then we were given a physical photograph. So those reels, camera reels, was a big business of Kodak. In 1990s, when one of their scientists developed the digital camera, they rejected his idea that digital camera will kill our reel business, so we'll not pursue that thing. Then what happened? Digital cameras were invented by other businesses, and now Kodak is mainly out of business. Then we'll be looking at a lot of case studies how AI is transforming things. Like the cars which we used to use like decades ago, which don't use to update. Now cars can be updated like mobile phones, new functions coming in. So you can have case studies like this. A lot of business situations where you have to think and advise to your client that, okay, traditional ways of doing business cannot be successful anymore. Like we have seen a case study when we have to advise to an airline to invest on simulators. What are simulators? Where pilots have to sit in these simulators and experience those extreme weather conditions in the training. Now, Sir Subhan has been to those simulators, he has experienced those things. So, things like that come into your examination. There, it is important to understand the real business world. And this is what value we will be adding. Okay? But obviously, coverage of the course outline is very important. So, we will be covering the course areas, but the depth which is required, not a lot of rote learning or rote discussion. Discussions, examples, business insight. Okay, so what are the technical areas we'll be covering in, what the course outline is, and then the paper structure and all. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so now when we talk about the course outline, technical marks, the 80 technical marks will be covering following major areas. These concepts are required again. No detailed learning, no rote learning, no learning of book, just understanding the concept. Very great balance of this course. 8 real business world concepts. Leadership and culture areas, because obviously it's a strategic business leader, qualities of a good leader, how the leaders have to deal with the problems, great cultures. Then similarly governance issues, because obviously when you talk about the board of directors, the concepts of governance, executive directors, non-executive directors, lack of committees if there are no committees in the board, the weak governance problems which may arise, sustainability, environmental sustainability, social sustainability, financial sustainability. So all of those areas. Very great course outline which enable you to think like that strategic business leader. No detailed learning or reading is required. Just concept and apply to the scenario. Obviously, detailed discussion of these will be done in the later part of the course. Currently, we are just referring them. Leadership and culture qualities of the leader, how they have to deal with the different business problems, uh, what great leaders have done in past. And in the SBL examination, normally always talk about the leader.
See, you might be thinking which topic is important. Like, is leadership important, governance important, strategy important, risk important? Sometime maybe in 2024 he gave strategy, sometime in 20. No. In every attempt, you will see the blend of all these. Always. For example, leadership. Somebody founded the organization. And he starts the story in the pre-scene, started this organization, let's say airline, was founded by two brothers 30 years back. They had an autocratic style, maybe. They were pilots. Talking about what? Leadership. Talking about what? Every organization as a leader. So it means leadership is always there. Every organization has a culture. Maybe a strong culture, weak culture, dysfunctional culture, whatever. But there is some kind of culture. Like every family has a culture. Governance. Every organization has a board, maybe the board committee, a remuneration committee, nomination committee, some kind of weak controls and sustainability. Always environmental, social, maybe society, economical, and all that. Strategy. Without a strategy, because every organization has an objective. So when there is an objective, there is a route also, which you call a strategy. It means strategy is always asked, whether it's pricing strategy, growth strategy, marketing strategy, any kind of risk. Are you risk-free? Am I risk-free? Is this course risk-free? Every organization has risk. So it means risk is always there. And then technology and data analytics. Technology, the basic website is always there. Information system, obviously every organization, even nowadays, if there's a mom and pop shop stores, they have that some kind of program. Even your grandparents have the smartphones. So every person, linked. So it means technology is always there. Organization control and audit. Absolutely. Every organization has some kind of control. Even if it's a mom and pop shop store, there is a door, there is a lock. Your phone has a password. So controls out. So it means talking about the control. Finance is a bloodline for any business. So it means you're talking about the commercial organization, the bottom line, the earning per share, the profitability, the balance sheet, it's always there. And then organization is not dead. So it means there is some kind of movement, change in policy, change in work, change in the new segment, launching a new product, going into a new, it's change. So it means it's not like that, okay, this time risk was asked, this time I think risk is important, or no, it's a blend. So that's why it's a very professional and different kind of paper, sir.
So all of these course areas, and it's such a great balance which you study, that when you will be studying that, you will be able to understand a complete business situation. Okay, so leadership problems, culture problems, governance situation, strategy, risk, technology, controls, and or audit situation. Like, okay, there will be some fraud happening or some control weakness. You'll have to suggest the corrections. Finance, okay, like some project appraisals also, not just the detailed calculation of financial management, but obviously commenting on that. In this course, you will be studying the concepts of NPV, IRR, which you study in your FM. There will be ratio analysis, complete ratio commentary, and then change management, project management, and all. So all course areas will be covered in reasonable depth, along with their application to past papers will also be done. So basically, when you talk about the SBL exam, since it's only single organization, and the question is of 15 pages, 11 pages sent in advance, 4 pages given in the examination. So examiner is able to cover all the segments. But the examiner will not ask, explain, define, write a model, write a theory. No. He say, okay, learn these skills, and then apply all of this to the real business situation. Like maybe a problem in culture, which you have to discuss, a problem in leadership style, which you have to discuss. Sometimes organization is taking excessive risk. Sometimes some technology need to be deployed. As I said, sometimes mobile application, sometimes a new website, e-commerce, blockchain, cryptocurrency. These all concepts are part of the course. Completely practical. Completely practical. Okay. So obviously very detailed discussion about all of these topics will be done as we move forward in the course. Obviously, it's just an introduction. Otherwise, it will never end and I'll just continue talking and talking. Okay. So when we talk about the exam structure, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. The examiner will give you 4 additional exhibits in the exam. Those 4 additional exhibits will be the continuation of the case study, of which the 11 pages were given 2 weeks before the exam. Total 15 pages case study, 11 pages were given in advance called as pre-scene, 4 additional pages. Maybe a business problem, a strategy, risk, ethics, 4 recent issues will be given in the exam. And from those 4 recent issues, he will ask you 3 tasks. He divides the exam paper in 3 tasks. Task 1, task 2, task 3. And then within each task also he can give you parts. Part A, part B in task 1, part A, part B in task 2. Normally in task 3 only gives one part. So I can say that there are 4 additional exhibits and normally he gives 5 requirements. 2 requirements in task 1, 2 requirements in task 2 and then 1 requirement in task 3. This is the normal breakup which he follows. There are 3 tasks to be attempted, may have sub-tasks in themselves. In examination, student will have to use a word processor to draft the answer, a spreadsheet, and sometimes you will also be asked to make a presentation slide. You haven't seen presentation slide in any other exam of ACCA. So you will also learn how to make presentation slides and speaker notes and all. So a very different type of exam. Now comes our study approach. That how these 2 guys will get your pass for you, will get a nationwide position. Like in every attempt, we get 5,566 nationwide position from different countries because we have students in more than 60 countries studying from us. So what is that great study approach which we offer? Coverage of all syllabus areas in detail with real life practical example. Never think that when we are giving a real life practical example, we are wasting your time. Because that practical example will come in the exam. That case study will come in the exam. That ability to relate things. And when you are listening to our classes, do more research. Research on the business entities. Look at the case studies. Look at the strategies which businesses follow. Coverage of all past papers available of SBL exam. Because the new structure of SBL was launched in September 2023. A similar exam was available in ACCA since like many years. There was an exam of P1, P3 earlier. So there have been such exams. But since we are talking about the new exam structure that was introduced in September 23, so all the past papers which are available, no useless old past papers because in them there was no pre-scene. When there was no pre-scene, the question paper was not that much in depth. Because when there is no pre-scene, the examiner cannot take you in a lot of real situation. Because then in the exam, you will have to need to tell you background also. But now in the recent exam, he don't talk useless. All the useless data was already given 14 days before the exam. In the actual exam, he only talks about real business problem. So recent SBL exams are very different. So we'll cover all the past papers. And when I say all past papers, it's not just discussion. It's actual drafting. We'll actually write each and every answer in the class. Like, okay, this is how a point has to be developed. You have to write this much for 1 mark. Very detailed. Structure after each section to understand exam. Drafting approach about how to write a point. There are homeworks and assignments on which we give feedback.
See, you need to, if you want a good numbers, flying colors, a nationwide position, or just a pass, you'll have to follow 2 guys. One is you need to understand the taste of 2 people. It's not me and Owais. It's the examiner and the marker. It's the examiner and the marker. Why you want to know the taste of the examiner? Because he is the person who is writing your question, who is giving you the case study, who will be giving you the requirement. So you need to understand the taste of the examiner, and that's what we do, all the past papers. Now, the second guy, the marker, who will actually help you achieving your objective, the pass, the marks. So that's why we do this drafting approach about how to write a point. If you just understand the pre-scene and the question, it means, and you have good points in your mind, everything, it means you know the taste of the examiner only. But we need to know the taste of the marker also, what he wants. Okay? These 2 guys are very important. So to understand the taste of these 2 guys, here are 2 guys. Okay, 2 plus 2, 4.
Right. So this all approach which we will be doing, that all is about teaching the course, doing a lot of past papers and topics and all. But once You get your actual pre-scene of your exam attempt. Then everything else become useless. All discussion will be on that. So the actual pre-scene information which will be issued 15 days before the exam, we will do the detailed analysis of that. And our detailed analysis is literally very famous. Not only students, a lot of teachers also follow that because then they teach that. So our detailed analysis of pre-scene, a very next level pre-scene. Because see, the entire course we discussed everything, a lot of past papers and everything. But when your attempt pre-scene is launched, 2 weeks before the exam, you get that document, the paper is out. So then we start discussion on that. So detailed analysis of that. And then on that actual pre-scene, we develop our 3 mock exams. Based on our experience, we develop our professional guess. That examiner can ask this thing. Maybe he develops a requirement like this. And we solve those mock exams in the class. Now, these 3 mock exams enhance your thought process, gives you an ability to understand the pre-scene from a lot of perspective. So this regular course is like a one-stop solution. All the course areas, detailed, our notes, our examples, our analysis, all the past papers, the drafting approach, professional skill marks. And once you get the pre-scene, detailed analysis of that, and then the mock exams. You will be getting our personalized notes for each topic. You will be getting pre-recorded classes so that you can watch on your own convenience. See, it's a professional exam. It's not like a small exam. A lot of students are doing job. They are studying in different time zones. Someone is in Africa, someone is in India, someone is in Nepal, someone is in US. So different time zones. We can't take live class for everyone. The classes are pre-recorded. You have to watch on your convenience. But it's not like just recorded classes. You have any query, you can always connect with us directly on this number. Just we are a message away. You drop us a message, we guide you on the WhatsApp. You send us your answers for checking, we check your answers, we give you the feedback. So it's not just the lectures we are getting, you are getting our real-time support. You are getting our feedback facility on the answers. And these two guys, more than 25 years of teaching and training experience, more than 75 nationwide positions by our students. Okay. Me, Owais, and Sir Subhan, you can research about us on social media. Like our students now teach this exam. So now you are studying from the teacher's teacher. So Sir Subhan is also one of my teachers. So the great examples and the great insight you will be getting. So a lot of structured learning expertise, like notes and everything, and a lot of business experience of America, Middle East market, which generate real business ideas, which are examined in your SBL exam. So I can say it very clearly, it's not possible to get a better course than this. It's not possible. Okay. And this is not we are saying, just research on social media, ask about us, just talk about our mocks, the mocks which we give, our professional guesses, our pre-scene analysis. Even those who are not giving the exam, they also take this course to enhance their thought process. So a great course which will enhance your chances to pass this exam greatly. Very interesting exam, very practical course, a real business course, and easy if you are studying from us. So from the next class, we'll be deep diving into the course and we'll be starting discussion on our first section, and that's leadership and culture, as I told you. Okay. And if you have any query, you always have our WhatsApp number. You can message us, ask anything if you have any query or any sort of guidance or counseling you need. Okay. So hope to see you all in our next class, in which we will be having a lot of interesting discussion and understand about the leaders, a good leader and great leaders, how they have impact on the society and the environment. So hope to see you all in the next class. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.